International break is upon us, no football going on, so let's take a minute to break down each club from first position all the way to 20th position, give a quick recap on where I think their season is going and how they can improve. Let's get into it. There's only one place to start, and that's top of the table, Arsenal Football Club sitting in first, 26 points, only one loss this season, and they're grinding out results even when they're not playing to their dazzling best. Their defence is so strong, didn't concede a goal in the whole month of October, and they're going from strength to strength, set piece after set piece. Do you know what I mean? They're people calling them Stoke in disguise, but to give them credit, they're defending well and they're being clinical on the other side. The summer signings was good, like Eze, Madueke got injured, but I think their stand-up player for me would be Rice or Zubamende or Gabriel. Gabriel scoring goals and keeping out goals. So Arsenal deservedly in first place. I think the draw against Sunderland recently kind of messed up their momentum, so they have to be careful. A lot of teams will be playing defensively or trying to cause problems to Arsenal. So I still think they're genuine number one contenders to get the Premier League this season. It'd be 22 years wait, so it'd be a big thing to Arsenal fans. So let's see how Arsenal season pan out. In second place, we have the formidable Manchester City, the Blue Sharks, some say. Pep, Haaland and co. Haaland scored 14 goals in 11 games. They started the season a little bit shaky, and it was kind of reminiscent of last season when they had a very poor season compared to their standards. But in recent weeks, they picked up form, had a little blip against Villa, but they've picked up form and they find themselves in second, 22 points, 4 points off Arsenal. So they're the Arsenal's closest challenge, and I expect them to challenge Arsenal. Arsenal have to be careful because Haaland, as I said, moving like a madman. Like I said, they can't be too reliant on him because if it goes left, then they could find themselves in trouble. I think they need a backup striker. But if Rodri gets back into the team and they get no more injuries, I think they're going to be a force to reckon with. In third place, we have Chelsea Football Club. And to be fair, you know what? They're doing well. I rate Maresca. Last year, no one tipped him to get into the top four, but he achieved those goals. I think they achieved more than what they set their targets was. And plus, they won the Conference League. And they won the Club World Cup. And this season, they find themselves third. Inconsistent, but that makes sense because they're the youngest team in the league. So they're very exciting. Goals are flowing. Stand out for me, I say Esteval. Funny enough, he don't start too much. Garnacho, the little pagan from Man United, he's starting to pick up a little bit of form. You got Casado, who's strong at the back. Even their goalkeepers have done a little bit better this season, but they have to be careful because, like I said, they're young, so the results in this league, because it's so tight, could push you down the table. But I think they're spot on for the top four. As long as they play to their level, I think they'll easily get top four. 6 points off Arsenal, I don't think they're going to challenge for the league. But anything happens, Chelsea's got the experience. I think their policy of buying youth players and selling them for high prices might pay off. And these youth players are hungry, so they're trying to earn big contracts or earn more money or prove themselves to the world. So they got a lot of people who try and energetic. So watch out for Chelsea. I think Maresca is a good manager, and let's see how they fare this season. Next up, we have Sunderland, sitting in fourth place on 19 points, 1 point off Chelsea. The surprise package of the league this year. Coming up from the Championship, they got promoted to the Premier League, and they're acting like a Premier League club. Strong home form. They drew to Arsenal, scored 2 goals against Arsenal. No one could score against Arsenal before. And they've just been picking up results along the way. I think they beat Chelsea away at Stamford Bridge. Good result. They've had a couple defeats, which is expected, but they find themselves in fourth and deserve, not like lucky, deserve. Really good manager. So quality from Sunderland. Where do I think they'll finish? I think they'll finish in the top half of the table because this league is relentless, but they are playing out of their skin, and big respect to Sunderland. And yeah, we'll see where Sunderland fare this season. Who's their best player? They've got so much different players, and I'm not too familiar with their players. But I think the whole team, Ballard at the back, he's quality, physical. So they're a physical squad, and they got a couple tricky players. So big up to the Sunderland manager, big up to the Sunderland players, and we'll see where this journey continues. Could be one of those crazy ones because they're still here 11 games in. Where they're going to be after, say, 15, 20 games. So they're the surprise package of the season. In fifth place, we have Tottenham Hotspurs. 18 points there, with a cluster of team on 18 points. But a lot of people say, oh, they're not doing so well this season. But as far as I can remember back, they've been at the top half of the table for most of the season. In top four up until now, they've dropped down to fifth place. But I think they've done well to be consistently there, not looking at the lower positions of the table. Thomas Frank obviously came in, made an impact, but their home form is concerned. One win, and I think that one win was against Burnley. Like, that is disgraceful. One win at home. Their away form is obviously very good. Set pieces is good. I like Van der Ven, Romero, very good defence. I think the doggy coming back is going to make them better. Their standout player for me would have to maybe be Kudus, but he hasn't really got a lot of DNA, but he's the threat. He's the thingy. What, you know what I mean? Richarlison's got some good goals in. So I think they have to be careful because they've played only easy teams and they're still not drifting apart from the rest of the teams. So now they're going to a period where they're playing very hard teams. I think starting with Arsenal. So if results go against them, they could see themselves drifting down the table. But I reckon if they can get consistent, they can do a top four push. So Tottenham Hotspur fifth place. I respect it. I respect it. In sixth place, we have Aston Villa. And at the start of the season, I don't think they scored a goal, let alone won a game in their first 5 games. It's really poor. It's looking very bad. They're in the Europa League. You think that's going to take a toll on them. But Unai Emery is showing why he's one of the top managers in the world. He's turning it around. I think it's 3 wins in their last 5 or something like that. The attack is good and the defense is solid, and they're able to, put a run of games together, which they look pretty decent. So I think they have a good chance of getting a European place now. And at the start of the season, you would have said that's near enough impossible the way they started. So their standout players for me, I think Bendia, he's starting to pop up again. Rodgers also continuing on with his good form. Watkins has kind of fell off. Sancho, he's not doing nothing. I don't think he cares about football no more. But yeah, they have a solid thing. Tillemans, he's putting in very good numbers in that midfield. So I think Aston Villa is a team to watch for. And can they make that push for the top 4? Because that's what they really want, back to Champions League football. So they're either going to have to win Europa League or get into the top 4. And Unai Emery has made them a formidable side again. So watch out for Aston Villa. Everyone likes the number 7, and sitting in 7th place is Manchester United. And to be fair, I'm not too happy. However, they've not lost in their last 5 games. I think 3 wins, 2 draws. Their attack is player. They're getting more patterns of play. But as I said, there's a lot of individual brilliance I'm still seeing from Man United. The defence is very shaky. And for us to achieve what we need to achieve this season, which is Champions League football, we need to start getting consistent. Our defence, Lamens is good, and Mbemo, Sesko and Cunha has improved their attack. However, there's too much teams where they have just these normal or silly chances against us and they always go in. I think when they did the stats, if we played the first half, Man United would be top of the table. So we're playing very good in the first half. But in the second half, our level dropped so much we would be in the relegation zone, just depending on what's happened in the matches. So why do we keep dropping off? We only got 1 game a week. So I don't know. Ruben Amorim, we've got to look to Ruben Amorim. Is the squad strong enough? When the substitutes come on, you're not playing them regularly. So now when you bring them into the fray, then they're kind of cold. Players need a couple of games to get the rhythm flowing and everything. So that's something Man United need to look at, because the games are coming thick and fast. We've got players going off to the AFCON. But right now they're 7th from 18 points with a cluster of teams. They got Everton after the international break. So we need to start winning and we need to start doing something more defensively. And when we're winning, we don't have to drop off so much and be scared. I know it's PTSD, but we need to take the game to these teams. We've got the players to do it. And I don't know what the fitness situation going on, but you have time to rest. So Man United 7th. I think they can get top 4. I do think so. I think the league's so weird this season. No one's ultra good and no one's ultra bad. So I think there's a chance for Man United to get top 4, but you ain't going to get that about consistency. So Man United, my message to them is that they need to get more consistent. one game a week, and in January, I think we need some signings. That midfield is terrible. So my stand-up player for Man United, I would say, is Mbeumo. De Ligt's been good, and Casemiro. Funny enough, everyone said leave the football for the football leaves you, but he is balling out right now. So Jamie Carragher hold that, and Lemens is a big upgrade on Onana, that fraud, and what's his name by in there, that double agent. So Man United, I think there's the opportunity to do well, but no one's going to lay over and say, oh, I'll win. It's going to be a fight every game, so we need to be ready. And in 8th place, we have the current champions, Liverpool, also on 18 points, but they've had 3 losses in their last 5. I don't know how much losses in their last 10, but it's quite a lot in all competitions. Their defence is just all over the place, but they have good defenders. Van Dijk, Konate. Obviously, I think Alisson is a big miss. That I'm not too sure about this make-up goalkeeper they got. I don't know what his name is. Yeah, but I don't know what's happened. They sent 500 million on top of a Premier League winning team. They put another 500 million pound on top of that to invest in the team. Yeah, and it has not worked out. So, like I said, you go back to my old videos when I talk about Klopp. Klopp built a machine, and Slot took over that machine, tweaked it a little bit in terms of tactics, and they got what they got last season. Now Slot has put his own stuff into. He broke up the machine and built his own machine. Someone didn't give him the blueprint properly because it ain't working. Yeah, it ain't working. Salah gave him the big contract. I don't think it's the contract was making him play bad, but he's meant to be the main man. Then you've got Ekitike, Isak, who thinks he's the main man. Verts hasn't got no GA, costs 120 million, no GA. Like, I don't get that signing. So their midfield, so Buzz, like they say, he's been all right, but I still think he's a fraud as well. Gravenberch is kind of getting found out this season. Konate, I think the contract situation with Konate is starting to cause problems because his form look a little bit dipped. And then the signings they brought in, like Frimpong and Kirkes. Frimpong's getting into Kirkes. He just looks a shadow of the player he was at Bournemouth. And the goalkeeper, I said, looks dodgy as well. So it's not looking good for Liverpool. 5 defeats already. But they are getting chances. They're just not converting them. So I reckon if they start converting chances, it will change the narrative in certain games. And I think they can push on. But I'm not going to write off Liverpool. Yeah, they've done these mad runs before, and they got good players. I'm not going to say they haven't. So I still think they have something to say this season. I still think they have something to say, they have a part to play in this season, and it could happen just overnight because they got good players. But if they don't fix themselves up in this little international break, it's just going to get worse and worse, and people are going to start looking at Slot, and Liverpool owners going to have a decision to make. But long may it continue. Liverpool fans' tears. I'm not thirsty anymore. Bare tears to drink from. So Liverpool fans in the mud, Liverpool in the mud. But like I said, they got good players. So if they turn around form, no one can't be shot. They are the current champions. Next up in 9th position, and the last team of those teams on the cluster of 18 points is Bournemouth. Started the season so well, competitive in every game, but 2 losses in their last 2 games shows their inconsistency, and they're going to have to start being a little bit more consistent, picking up if they want to stay in that top half, especially pushing for European places. Semenyo, standout player of the season, let alone Bournemouth. What a quality player. I know there's some rumours around that he wants to leave, and it makes sense. He's hot property right now, but Bournemouth need to hold on to him to have a positive season. I think Iraola, brilliant manager. Justin Cliver, I like Justin Cliver, but he's been in and out of the team, so I suspect that's injury. I'm not even seeing him on the bench, but we know Justin Cliver's got good quality, so they got good team, and I think they're going to be a threat. They're going to be competitive every game. If you're not on it against Bournemouth, you're going to get finished. But Aston Villa did beat them 4-0 last time out, so that is worrying, and they need to sort themselves out, or they're going to see themselves trickling down the table. But Bournemouth is another surprise package team this season, and I give them a 10 out of 10 in terms of effort. In terms of performance, they need to step it up. But big up Bournemouth. In 10th place on 17 points, my home team, my hometown team, so I support them as well. Big up the local team, Crystal Palace FC. And to sum them up, they're very defensively solid, but their attack, even though Mateta is good and gets goals and Sarr gets goals, their attack's not all that. Since losing Eze, you can see there's been a dip in their attack. But they're a solid team. They're playing obviously European football for the first time since I've been alive. Do you know what I mean? So that's a big achievement for Palace, and they still find themselves in the top half of the table. They started off really well, and then maybe because of the European games, you can see their form start to drop. Maybe they haven't got the big enough squad to compete in both competitions. But Palace is always going to be a dangerous team. On any day, their defence is so solid. Gay at the back, Lacroix, Richardson or Richards or whatever his name is. And then, you got Big Mateo up front. Pina's come and did all right, but he's not really hitting the heights of Eze. But I think they're going to be... I think they might miss out on Europe this year. I think they might miss out on Europe this year just because... But they have a chance to win that Conference League, so they're going to have to pick which way they want to go. Do they want to be higher up in the Premier League, or do they want to concentrate on the European competition? But big up Crystal Palace, always want them to do well. Not against Man United, we've got them in a couple of weeks, but I have to support the local team. So big up Palace, but I think they're conflicted between their European and Premier League campaign. Next up, in 11th place on 16th points, so we're going to the bottom half of the table now, is Brighton. And the one word to sum up, they are the actual definition of consistency. Win one, draw one, lose one. Welbeck having an amazing season, and I think Man United wanted Baleba in the summer, kind of unsettled him. He hasn't been too great. He hasn't been too great in the midfield. He keeps coming off. I think Brighton Dunk was really solid and Verbrain was really good, but they haven't kept too much clean sheets. So Brighton, another team who need to be more consistent if they want to achieve better than they achieved last season, possibly get some European football. Do you know what I mean? There was in European football under De Zerbi, but they haven't hit the heights. So I don't know what's going on. I think they're a selling club and a lot of their players get unsettled when the big clubs come in for them. So I think that's had the part to play in their season. They don't seem that settled, and the fact that Welbeck is their top striker, even though he's doing very well, maybe that's a little bit worrying. So I think Brighton needs to do one of their magic tricks and sign some unknown player and turn him into a monster, or I see them staying in the bottom half of the table because they're so inconsistent. I rate the manager, a young guy, but the team seems a little bit stale. I think that they need freshening up now. So the fact Man United beat them 4-2 and they've been beating us for the last 3 seasons shows that this ain't the Brighton of old. So yeah, I would say a disappointing campaign so far for Brighton. In 12th place, also on 16 points, is Brentford. The Bees. And they've been stinging a lot of teams. They stung Liverpool, stung United. I think they drew against Chelsea. This Coyote guy with the long throws is causing everyone mayhem. Everyone trying the long throw, but they've got the long throw to a T. They practice that properly. And that Thiago guy up front, he's been scoring the goals. He's got a lot of goals this season. Good goals as well. The one that sticks in my head is the one against Man United, that left-footed swinger. Oh, that was crazy. And Keith Andrews, the manager, we thought after losing Mbemo, after losing Wissa, after losing Thomas Frank, the manager, the former manager, we thought it was all going to go downhill. Keith Andrews ain't got no real experience. He was back up to Thomas Frank, but he's been hitting the ground running. Surprise team. Everyone's gained Brentford's respect, and to credit to them, like they haven't disappointed. When you watch them now, you don't mind watching their game. Before maybe not, but now all the players they brought in has done very good. So Brentford 16 points. I think they're only 4 points, or was it 4? Maybe 5. 5 points. Yeah, about 5 points, 4 points off the top 4. So they're not in the worst position. They're in 12th, but like I said, the table's very tight, and I think Brentford is going to be thereabouts. These bees ain't going away anywhere soon. They smell honey, or do they make honey? Anyway, next up in 13th place on 15 points, I believe, is David Moyes' Everton. Moved into their new stadium, and you know what? Scrappy, but they're picking up crucial wins. They are picking up crucial wins, which is respectable, but their defence is they leak a lot of goals, Everton, and also their attack is not very clinical. So Grealish is their stand-up player of the season, Trickery, on the wing. They got Ndiaye. Everyone loves Ndiaye having a great season, but very inconsistent. And I just feel like they got a starting 11, and then after that they haven't got nothing. So I feel that shows in matches. They ain't got the substitutes to come on. I know they signed Diblin, but it's not good enough at this level of the Premier League. But I think they have no danger of relegation. But obviously they really want to achieve to get into that top half of the table. But the defence and the tackles, no way good enough to compete with the other team. So I think Dave Moyes is a great manager, and depending on how after they go international break, they maybe could break into the top half of the table, but I don't see it happening. Sorry, Everton fans. It's good, but it's not good enough. Newcastle, another favourite team of mine from the Alan Shearer days. What is happening? Yes, you lost Isak, but I think, 3 wins all season? It is not good enough. So you're playing Champions League football. Like, they've made some decent signing. I know they lost Isak and they had that drama, but you got that's in the past now. So I don't know what they're doing. 2 losses in a row. I can't work out why they got such a solid team, but something is not right. It can't just be Isak. Something's not right. Don't know if there's unrest in the camp. I don't know what's happening, but they need to sort themselves out. I think they're on 12 points. Where are they in the league? They're 14th on 12 points. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. And obviously key injuries is always holding Newcastle back. So they need to sort their life out, because if they don't, do you know what I mean? They're not going to play in European football next year. And if they have a really bad season, are the Saudis going to have patience with, what's his name? What's the Newcastle? Eddie Howe. So I don't know what's happened. The defence don't seem solid no more. Midfield is not as robust anymore, and attack without Isak it's not attacking. So they need to pull their finger out ASAP. I do like Newcastle, but do you know what I mean? Like, long may it continue if Man United get that European spot. So Newcastle in the mud at the moment. In 15th place, we have another underwhelming team, Fulham. High-flying Fulham of last season. Problem. This season, they got problems. Defensive problems galore. I think 1 win in their last 5. Very poor from Fulham this season. Marco Silva rate him, and they got a couple players in, but it will be Jimenez. All these guys, they're not going through. Bassi was looking great last season, looking whack this season. So I don't know what goes with Marcel. I think they need to back him, because they're playing relegation form. And Fulham's been a mainstay in the league for ages. But the way they're playing right now is relegation form. So they need to be careful. They have got good players. They've got good players who can cause team problem, but they need to find a balance between the defence and attack. Smith Rowe can't seem to get a start. Yeah, so I don't know. Like, you can see Traore starting sometimes, so I don't think he even knows his best team. But yeah, they need to sort it out quick, or they might be looking over the shoulder, because a couple of the other teams who we're going to talk about in a minute are starting to pick up form, and they're 15th, 11 points, 11 games played. Not great. So Fulham need to step up their game. In 16th place, we have Leeds United, also on 11 points. Newly promoted team, so they're doing good. They're not in the relegation zone, so they're doing their objective, trying to stay out, getting relegated. And I think they're playing well. I like they're very fluid in attack. No really outstanding player, but you know what? They're playing football, and and it's a good game every time you watch Leeds United. I just worry for them that, like I said, the other team are starting to pick up points, and if they don't get any good results in this next period, going up towards Christmas and New Year, then they could find themselves in those relegation places. So Leeds, it's up to them to prove themselves, like, no, we're not the worst team in the league, and pick up some results where people might not expect them to pick up results. But I did tip them to go down start of the season. It's not because I'm a Man United fan. And when Man United play, we will beat you, Leeds United. The rivalry, the roses, like, that's still there. Maybe 2-1. But sticking on Leeds, I at the start of the season, when they started playing well, I think, wow, these guys are not getting relegated. That's too good. But then, as the matches go on, they're starting to drop a little bit of points now. So, 11th place, 11 points, not too bad from 11 games. That's like average a point a game. So, big up Leeds, and we'll see how they fare in this next period of game. Another promoted team, Burnley, where are they? They're in 17th place on 10 points, and do you know what? They've impressed me this season, even though they're below Leeds. But I thought they was going to be bottom of the table, struggling to get any wins. But they're good. Their home was really good. They're really physical. Liverpool just beat them penalty. Man United just beat them penalty. Do you know what I mean? So they're not no mugs. Do you know what I mean? So they are a very good team, and they're scoring some decent goals as well. So I wouldn't write them off. Like they're similar to Leeds. In this next period of games, they need to make sure they pick up some results, or they're just hovering one place above the relegation zone. So they need to start picking up points. But they've impressed me this season because I didn't think they're going to do so well, and they're showing they're not just what you used to associate Burnley with, like long ball headers. They're playing some ball. They've got some ballers in, very unknown quantities, but do you know what I mean? The fact that they're not in the relegation shows so they're doing something. So big up Burnley, and long may it continue. Long may it continue. Like I'm not used to this type of Burnley, and like I said, next period of games though, gotta be careful because Championship will be calling you. So big up Burnley, 16th place. Now the relegation places. In 18th place on 10 points is West Ham, and what a weird season they're having. Do you know what I mean? Sat their manager, Nuno's at the helm now, and they've just been playing terrible. But in recent games, they're starting to pick up some results. They just beat Burnley, another contender, 6-pointer. They just beat Burnley, but they're in big trouble. I need to see more from West Ham. Bowen, Paqueta, he scored a great goal, but he needs to do more. They need to do more. They invested a lot in this team, and Nuno's got to find a way to make them solid and hard to beat, but at the same time score goals, because no one's giving away points in this Premier League for free. And West Ham will be playing Championship football unless they pick up form. And West Ham's a mainstay in the Premier League. They just won the Conference League the other year. Selling Declan Rice 120 million. They should have stability in this league. But this season, it's been terrible, and I don't know what's going to come of West Ham. I actually am very worried for West Ham to go down. Honestly, if Leeds and Burnley pull away, West Ham's in trouble. Nottingham Forest, 19th, 9 points from 11 games. Terrible. Do you know what I mean? Brilliant season last year in the Europa League. You know they got the Mafia boss already. He gonna sack Nuno because they started the season poor. Brought in Postecoglou, sacked Postecoglou because he wasn't doing anything. And now they brought in, what's his name? Sean Dyche. And Sean Dyche has steadied the ship. Won a game in Europe. I don't think he's lost in the Premier League. I think it was a draw, 2 draws and a win. So he's starting to pick up points for Nottingham Forest. Elliot Anderson, player of the season in terms of midfield. What a quality player. Defensive duels winning. Progressive pass play. Like, he is ridiculous. He's on Man United's radar. He had a quality game against us as well. So they got quality players. They got Gibbs White. They got all these quality players, but they find themselves in 19th. But I don't expect them to. I think Sean Dyche will get into them, get them solid. I think they'll get out of trouble. Obviously, they got to prove that, but I think they got way too much quality in that team. They're one of the best defensives last year. They're looking like a shambles this year. But I think Sean Dyche is the guy to turn them around. I think they have a good European campaign. I think they have to bank on I don't think they're going to get in the top 4 now, but I think they have to bank on the Europa League. If they win the Europa League, they're in the Champions League. But like I said, Elliot Anderson, hot property right now, and I think he will drag them out of that relegation zone. And last but not least, Wolves. What can I say? No wins in 11 games. 2 draws, only 2 points. Worst attack, worst defence, worst everything. Sacked their manager. To hire some Championship manager now, and it looks like relegation is looking for them. So that Championship manager who they hired will be managing in the Championship next season, because Wolves are going down. They've got no players. We took Cunha off them, and they look a shadow of themselves. They were struggling last year, to be fair. Did the great escape, but that ain't happening this season. I want to give them credit, but I can't give them credit because they've just been playing so rubbish. Well, bet Man United give them the first win. I bet Man United give them their first win, but hopefully not. And Brumwell and them guys. But Wolves, There's no positives, no positives, and they've been such a mainstay in this Premier League for the last decade or so. Do you know what I mean? So it'd be sad to see them go, but there's no like what Gomez is good. I like Gomez. I do like Gomez, and they got some decent players, but I can't see it. And I hope they do well and turn it around. The new manager comes in, gets his methods across, and they can sort it out because they have got good quality players still. But I don't think the club invested as much as they needed to ensure their Premier. And maybe they underestimated the new clubs coming up. So Wolves 20th in the table, 2 points, big trouble. And that's my full Premier League table recap. Every team. You tell me in the comments who's been your standout team for the season, who's been the biggest disappointment of the season. Hit that like button, hit that follow button, hit that subscribe, hit anything. You just do something, help the algorithm, as they say it. But it's from Endless Vision TV. Thanks for tuning in, and I'm out.